Turn the other cheek. It remains one of the most recognizable and heavily analyzed moral commands in human history. The standard modern reading treats this as a decree of total personal pacifism, an instruction for the individual to absorb physical abuse without retaliation. But applying that logic to the present day reveals a practical crisis. If you are assaulted on a modern city street, offering a second swing feels less like a moral victory and more like a tactical disaster. Within a highly individualistic society, the teaching appears dangerous and naive. It lacks a clear, logical function for someone navigating the world alone. This absurdity doesn't stem from the text itself, but from the lens we use to interpret it. We are experiencing a context collapse. The instruction feels incomprehensible because we mistakenly assume it was written for isolated individuals acting in a vacuum. These words were originally addressed to a specific group, an ideal, compassionate brotherhood of early Jewish and Christian communities. Curious, re-examining the phrase through this communal lens changes the stakes entirely. The original audience didn't view this as a license for random street violence or a policy for dealing with total strangers. It functioned as a strict internal protocol for dispute resolution. Offering the other cheek forced two brothers to reconcile immediately, prioritizing the unity of the group above the ego of the person. This teaching served as a pressure valve, preventing a fragile community from shattering due to internal friction. This internal cohesion had a massive external purpose. The brotherhood was intended to serve as a moral beacon, a light to the surrounding nations. Unity was a requirement for survival under the occupation of the Roman Empire. When faced with an overwhelming military superpower, internal fractures were lethal. Their strategy for survival was spiritual as much as social. Only a society built on radical justice and mercy could guarantee God's attention and ultimate deliverance from their enemies. Conversely, failure to reconcile would destroy the community's integrity, resulting in total collapse and divine punishment. Forgiveness was a pragmatic, high-stakes strategy. It was the only way to keep a people intact while living under an empire's boot. Returning the command to this specific brotherhood transforms it. It is no longer a rule of individual victimhood, but a mechanism for community resilience. This shift reveals the primary danger of historical projection. Applying modern individualism to ancient texts ensures we will fail to understand why they were written. Grasping these teachings requires looking past our own isolated perspectives to see the collective structures these rules were meant to bind together. We find the original intent when we treat these manuscripts as survival manuals for a specific people facing a specific empire.